purpose is to make profits for the stakeholders. In order to achieve that objective, LGS needs to identify an operation that will help LGS to achieve profits. In that case, it's educational services that will lead you to the next step. So, objective will decide what should be the next step. The next step is identifying a sustainable operation, right? Okay. Right, so objective, let's say, in this case, let me just put it here in a different ink here. Objective is profits. No. Profits. Identifying a sustainable operation in order to achieve that profit objective is, let's say in this case, example wise, I would say educational services, right? If you are a manufacturer of wooden furniture, then the sustainable operation, the economic operation would be manufacturing and selling of furniture, which will help you achieve this profit. If you are a law firm, then objective is profit and the identifiable economic operation is giving legal services to your clients. If you are a hospital, then objective is profit and the identifiable sustainable operation that will help you achieve the objective of profit would be healthcare services. Do you understand the connection here? Right? Give me a green check mark in the participants window, please. If you don't understand, give me a red check mark. Good, 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 good. Amal? इफ्रा एंड ईमान, अगर आप पार्टिसिपेंट विंडो पे जाएंगे ना तो आपके पास वहाँ पे येस नो के बटन्स बने होंगे, so you can use those or you can simply write in the chat box. So we all agree? Great, excellent. Identifying a sustainable operation then will lead to the next step, that is resources or assets, right? Right? जब आप अपने आइडेंटिफाई कर लेंगे कि आपको क्या ऑपरेशन है, जब एलजीएस ने अपने लिए आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि उन्होंने एजुकेशनल सर्विसेज इज द मोस्ट लुक्रेटिव सर्विस दैट विल हेल्प LGS as a business entity to achieve its objective, then they will be having a clearer picture that what resources do they need in order to achieve the identifiable sustainable economic operation, right? तब LGS को पता लगेगा, okay, fine, we need to have a school, we have a piece of land, we need to have buildings to be constructed on top, we need to have classes to be furnished with furniture, and so on and so forth, right? So that is where the first element of our accounting equation comes into existence, assets. Assets cannot be, you can't know what assets you need unless you know what operations you need to conduct. And you cannot have an operation, identifiable operation, unless you define your objective clearly, right? So that's how everything is connected. When resources are finalized, then comes who are going to be the sponsors of these resources. So that is what we did yesterday. Third-party investors and the owners. These are the ones who will sponsor our requirement of the asset. And who are we? We are always the business entity. We are never going to see things from any other perspective but the business entity. That is the most important part, because perspective defines conclusions. जब आपका perspective change हो जाता है चीज़ों के बारे में, तो आपका conclusion भी change हो जाता है. Remember the freedom fighter versus terrorist analogy, right? So अगर आप one side of the border खड़े होके देखते हैं तो आपको एक movement शायद terrorist movement लगे, लेकिन the other side of the border, the same movement will look like a freedom fighter movement. So perspective आपका जो होता है चीज़ों के बारे में, जिस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप चीज़ों को देख रहे होते हैं, वो आपकी ओपिनियंस को फॉर्म करता है. इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि हम अकाउंटिंग में वो पर्सपेक्टिव राइट अवे डिफाइन करें, और वो पर्सपेक्टिव हमेशा बिजनेस एंटिटी का होगा, वो कभी ओनर्स का नहीं होगा. सो बेसिकली योर अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन दैट आई मेंशन्ड ऑन टॉप इज बेसिकली दिस कनेक्शन, दैट व्हाटएवर रिसोर्सेज यू रिक्वायर, these are going to be contributed by either the owner or the third party investors. So your assets here are always equal to the sum of capital and liabilities. Capital is basically contributions from the owner, right? And liabilities are contributions from external investors, right? Or third party investors, जो भी आप कहना चाहते हैं उसको, right? So this is what we have already covered, right? Somebody got dropped out. चलो वो भी वापस आ जाएंगे, ठीक है? Okay, now my next question. Can you define capital? What is capital? What is the accounting nature of capital? Right. Sir, I have to leave for the law class. Okay, Amna. Acha, Amna Kashif has left. Okay, great. ठीक है. Amna का clash हो रहा है law के साथ, so let's see. Okay, so now what do we understand by the term capital? Capital, anyone, unmute your mic and talk to me directly or write in the text. What is capital? I've written it contribution by from the owner. I should not be asking this question because that's the definition. But what is capital to the business? Money invested in owner's contribution to the business, assets and infrastructure, very good. Money invested in the financial obligation. What is capital to the business? Is it an asset or an obligation? Alicia Azim nailed it. It's an obligation. Yes, Amal, very good. Maheen, very good. Obligation for the business, right? Because you will always see things from the business's entity's point of view. So business entity ke point of view se agar aap dekhenge, then you will see capital is what you owe to your owner. So what is the financial difference between capital and liabilities? If you have to write just one line answer for the difference between financial difference, not the structural difference. Structural difference क्या होगा? कि liabilities जो होते हैं वो business third party owners को owe करता है, whereas capital is what the business owes to the owner, right? That is the structural difference. The financial difference or the accounting difference. दोनों में एक accounting difference था कल अगर आपको याद हो, बल्कि मैंने वो कल notes भी share किए थे, उसमें भी आपको revise करने का मौका मिला होगा. Alicia Azim, thank you so much. Capital is a non-repayable obligation. Whereas all liabilities, all of these, capital, this part is what the business will never pay back to the owner in its lifetime. The business entity is going to be treated like a person, right? So business entity as a person during its lifetime will never repay the owner back the original capital investment. However, the third party contributions towards you're the business, you will always have a deadline. Excellent. Liabilities are to be paid by a defined deadline. Very good. I'm really happy. This class is very responsive. I'm very, very happy, right? Okay. So all these are what we call these sponsors. ये आपके business, आपके sponsors हैं. आप business entity है ना? ये आपके sponsors हैं. All of these sponsors have a certain stake in you, and that is why they have invested in you. What incentive do they have in you? Why would they invest in you? So let's take them one by one. What incentive do liabilities or external contributors have in you? Can you write one word for your answer? Asma, yes, very good. Maheen, Asma, interest, very good. Interest, Amal, very good, right? This is the interest they have. This is literally the interest they have. The interest is the incentive they have in us. We are the business entity. Excuse me. So, what is the incentive for the owner for providing us the capital? Indefinitely. Remember, owner provides us the capital indefinitely, right? So what incentive does the owner have in us? Yes, excellent Madhya, Prophet, very good Amal, very good Maheen, thank you. बाकी बच्चे नहीं आजकल ज़्यादा बोल रहे. Asma, thank you, very good Misha, very good Prophet. So इसका मतलब है, can you define the financial nature of profit? Keeping the accounting equation on the screen in mind, can you define the financial nature of profit. What is profit by nature to you, the business entity? Alicia Azim, liability. Obligation. Yeah, obligation is a liability. Obligation is when you owe something to someone. Liability is something owed. Although liability have a very specific meaning. Liability means something that you owe to someone, and it has a clear-cut repayment deadline. So that is what liability is. Obligation is a more general expression. Yeah, obligation is when you owe someone. Surplus amount left after paying the third party, which is the profit. Very good, Asma. Yeah, that is true. And profit by nature is a financial obligation for the business entity towards its owner. So that was the last two classes in a nutshell. Right? Now let's continue from this point onwards. Minal, Ifra, and Adan एंड ईमान, आप लोगों ने आज पहली बार क्लास ज्वाइन किया. आई होप कि आपको ये डिस्कशन कुछ थोड़ी बहुत समझ में आ रही होगी. अदरवाइज I hope that you have noted my email address and my cell phone number. We can always go back on Saturday or Friday to cover that. Now I'm going to start with the exercises here. When you buy the book, जो भी मैं Google Classroom पर books mention कर दूंगा. जब आप बुक खरीदेंगे, हमने अभी चैप्टर 1 कंप्लीट कर लिया है, राइट. चैप्टर 1 ऑफ द बुक वी हैव जस्ट कंप्लीटेड, राइट. The last 2 days and today's discussion so far. So when you buy the book, so you will see similar exercises at the end of the chapter. So we are going to go through these ones. ठीक है. और अगर आप already accounting choose कर चुके हैं, then you must buy the book right away ताकि we can get the ball rolling. Okay. So complete the gaps 1.1. Let me just make it a little bigger. I hope it's clear on your screens, right? So 1.1, we have to complete the gaps in the following table. So this is a very basic question. All you need is a calculator. Okay. I hope you guys have calculators, because calculators, we have to buy both the books. नहीं, Asma, we don't have to buy both the books. I will tell you, मैं अभी Google Classroom पे आपको बता दूंगा जो आपको book right away चाहिए, सिर्फ एक book. The other book, the Cambridge book, is due to be updated in November. I don't want you to buy the outdated edition. So we are going to wait till November, और उसके बाद फिर हम, अगर वो इस साल रिवाइज हुआ, एडिशन रिवाइज हो रहा होगा, तो फिर वो हम इसी साल में ख़रीद लेंगे. नवंबर दिसंबर से पहले हमें इसकी ज़रूरत भी नहीं पड़ेगी. और लेकिन अगर वो ना रिवाइज हो रहा होगा, फिर तो ऑब्वियसली हम लेंगे. दैट बुक, कैम्ब्रिज बुक, इज़ रिटन with the assumption that you have done your O-level accounting, and that is why we don't need it right away. ठीक है. Majority of this class, this is their first exposure for accounting. So that is why we need the other book, the Numan Malik वाली book, जो हमारी local book है. जो हमारी लोकल वाली बुक है ना, वो है बनी वो उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बनी हुई है जिन्होंने पहली बार अकाउंटिंग पढ़ी. वो हमेशा वो ज़ीरो से स्टार्ट होती है. दैट इज़ व्हाट वी नीड राइट नाउ. सो कैम्ब्रिज वाली किताब हम लेंगे इन नवंबर से पहले नहीं. ओके. एनीवे, नाउ so you can see this. I hope you have the calculator. So 1.1 and 1.2 are similar questions. You are given assets, liabilities, and capital. Two values out of the three given are given, and the one is missing. So we can just simply manipulate the basic accounting equation to find the third value. Yes, simple. Let me just. So basically, if assets equals capital plus liabilities, then obviously capital would be assets minus liabilities, right? And liabilities would be assets minus capital. Do you agree with these different versions of the same equation? Right? Give me a green check mark if you agree with these different forms of the same basic equation. These are the same equation actually. We just shuffle the elements around the equality and we can find it. So, okay, great. Okay. Now, you understand that the first two questions are fairly simple. Can you do it yourself? give me a yes or no green check mark here. This is easy peasy. If you can't do it yourself, I'll do one question for you. But do you think you can easily manage it? Yes. 10,700 Asman? Yes, that's true. Take it. All you have to do is get the calculator out and take the difference between whatever values. Right? Good. Very good, Amal. Very good. Very good, Alicia. ठीक है. Madiha. Good, good, good. ठीक है. So I think we can skip the first two questions. I'll post this worksheet on Google Classroom. You can always use it for your reference, but the first two questions are just basic ones. We don't need to allocate time on that. So let's move on to the third and the fourth question here. Okay, and the fourth question. ठीक है. So they are both the same question. ठीक है. Which of the items in the following list are liabilities and which of them are assets? ठीक. So how do we identify? So A, loan to C. Shirley. Yeah, you can unmute your mic or you can write in the text. So loan to C. Shirley. Can you identify whether this is an asset type item or an obligation type item? Alicia, asset. Maheen, Marceline, asset. Yeah, asset. Maruk, Misha, asset. Asset, very good. Asset, we did not fall for the trap here. It's not loan by C. Shirley. We did not receive the loan from C. Shirley. We gave the loan to C. Shirley. So that means C. Shirley has become a receivable to us, not a payable. When you owe someone, that's a liability. When someone owes you, that's an asset. So obviously, I'm very happy we did not fall for the trap. Loan to C. Shirley is not a liability, it's an asset. Do we understand this? Please, yes or no? Yeah? Because some answers are there. Some people chose not to answer the question, right? Okay, good, good. If you do not understand anything, please unmute your mic and talk to me, or chat box मेरे सामने खुला हुआ है, मैं सारा वक्त उसको monitor कर रहा होता हूँ. So leave your question over there. Don't let me go ahead if you have any element of doubt. Okay. The next item is bank overdraft. We discussed bank overdraft yesterday. Bank overdraft is a situation where our bank account, we draw more money than our account balance and our bank account goes negative. So that means we owe it to our bank, and everyone identified it correctly. Thank you. It's a liability. Excellent, Alicia. Everyone, Misha, very good. Very good. So let's quickly move on to the next one. Fixtures and fittings. Fixtures and fittings are basically the electrical installations and the woodwork done in your premises, right? That's what generally means fixtures and fittings. ठीक है? Very good, very good. Assets, everyone. ठीक है? अगर आपको general answer से आप disagree कर रहे हैं, तो please फौरन मुझसे confirm करें. Most of the cases, general answers are correct, but sometimes generally people believe in certain things which are not correct. So if you have a difference of opinion with the general answer, then please differ. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay. The next one is computers. We all agree it's an asset, and we owe a supplier for goods. That's obvious. We owe to someone, so that's a liability. And warehouse that we own is obviously an asset. 1.4, I'll give you 5 minutes on your own. So do it on your own, and then I will just quickly go over it to save time. So you have 5 minutes to attempt 1.4. Do it on your notebooks or wherever, and then I'm going to call out the answers one by one, and then you will see if there is anything wrong about it, right? So do it in 2 minutes. It's a very basic question, right? And when you are done, then leave a green check mark on the participant window. Okay, Maheen is done. Alicia is done. Very good. Let's wait for your class fellows. Right. Alina is done. Good. Maruk is done. Asma is done. Amina Kashif done. Amna, you're back. Okay. Amna की law class नहीं हुई आज. Okay, good. Alina Wakas is done. Amal Mariam done. Misha Taqaddus done. Madiha done. Very good. Madiha Shahzad done. Okay, so we are Adan. I understand Ifra. I understand Iman Badr. What about you, bete? आपने तो classes दी हुई हैं सारी. आप अभी कर रहे हो? Okay, करो. Minal, this is also your first class. So, uh, Minal, have you done your O-level accounting before? I forgot to ask yesterday. Or this is your first time accounting? Minal probably can't hear me. Acha, Minal. No, I took pure sciences in O-level. So, okay, Minal, then you probably also want to take that makeup session, right? So I hope you have my email address, but you also save my cell number, right? Okay, ठीक है. Iman Badr is done. Good, ठीक है. So let me just quickly go over the answer. Everyone is done. So the first one is motor vehicles, which is an asset. Premises is land and buildings together. Land and buildings together is what we call premises. So obviously that's an asset. Creditors for goods, creditors or trade payables are the people we owe because we have bought goods from them on credit. On credit means that we have bought the goods, but we have not paid them anything yet. So that makes creditors a liability to us. Creditors are the people we owe. So that's a liability. और क्रेडिटर का ऑपोजिट होता है डेटर. ठीक है, डेटर. DEBTOR. Debtor. Don't call it debtor because B is silent here. So debtor, right? So creditor is a person we owe, and a debtor is a person who owes us. Like 1.3 के अंदर loan to C Shirley जो था पहली वाली A transaction जो थी, वो C Shirley becomes a debtor to us. Okay. Okay, moving on. D, stock of goods or inventory of goods. That's an asset. Debtor is an asset. It's a receivable. Someone who owes us is an asset. Someone we owe is a liability. So debtor is an asset. Owing to bank is a liability. Cash in hand, asset. Loan from D Jones. Now this is loan from D Jones, unlike loan to C Shirley in the previous one. So loan from D Jones is a liability. We owe D Jones, right? And then finally machinery, which is an asset. If you disagree with my answers, then please give me a red check mark in the participant window. If you agree, then green check mark, please. Okay, good. Okay, Alina, good. Amal, what about you? You got anything wrong here? Amna Kashif? Okay, good. All correct. All good. Owing to bank is an asset? No, owing to bank is a liability. You owe to the bank. It's a liability, Iman. It's a liability, right? Do you agree with this, Iman? Okay, good. Acha, Iman Farooq or Iman Badr. We have two Imans in the class. So Iman Badr, we understand. Great. If good. मारुख एंड मिना इकबाल चलो खैर मिना को तो हम अभी फ़िलहाल थोड़ा सा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी देते हैं, राइट? मारुख, व्हाट अबाउट यू? Do you got all the answers correct? Okay, Maruch, thank you. Now 1.5 and 1.6, again similar questions. You are given a list of assets and liabilities, and you have to identify if something is listed wrongly under a column. So I'm going to give you another 2 minutes. Go through 1.5 and 1.6, and then I'll call out the answer and you see if your answer matches with my answer. If not, then I will explain, right? Okay, 2 minutes. 1.5 and 1.6, simply identify which items are wrongly identified under a particular column. And when you're done, then leave a green check mark in the participants window. Maruf is done, good. Alicia Azim is done, very good. Alina done. Alina Bakas. We have two Alinas. Okay, Amal Mariam is done. Amna Kashif done, very, very good, very good. Maheen Marceline is done, good, good, good. Misha is done, excellent. We're still waiting for Asma and Iman Badr and Madiha has done. Madiha is done. Good. Okay, Iman Badr is also done. Great, great. Okay, okay, good. So let me go quickly call out the answer. In 1.5, in the assets section, we have, let me choose this one. Okay. So we have creditors wrongly mentioned here. This is wrong, right? And loan from C. Smith is wrong, right? Because these two represent your liabilities and they are wrongly mentioned under the assets column, right? And in the liabilities, the rest of the asset column is correct. There's nothing wrong with that. In the liability section, the stock of goods and the debtors are mentioned wrongly. So if your answer agree with my answer, then please give me a green check mark in the participants window. Good, 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 good. And if you have anything, if you got anything wrong, then please ask. Okay? I will explain why you went wrong there. Okay. Iman, Ifra, Adan, and Minal. Okay, everyone is done. Good, good, excellent. And in 1.6, the creditors again and capital, these are the ones which have been mentioned wrongly here, and liabilities made, the machinery and motor vehicles are wrongly mentioned. Everything else is perfectly fine. If you agree with my answer, please give me a green check mark. If you have anything wrong, then red check mark. I'm waiting for a red check mark here, please. Everyone is correct. And I'm actually happy. I'm not disappointed. Yeah, great, great, great. Minute, Misha. Sir, what are fixtures? Okay, fixtures are, अच्छा, आपकी जो ओवरऑल लैंड और बिल्डिंग्स होती हैं उसके अंदर एक तो ब्रिक एंड स्टोन स्ट्रक्चर होता है विच इज़ द बिल्डिंग के अंदर आपके पास दो तरह की और एसेट्स होते हैं. एक मूवेबल एसेट होता है विच वी कॉल फर्नीचर. ठीक है, फर्नीचर को यू कैन मूव अराउंड. एंड देन देयर इज एन इमूवेबल पार्ट ऑफ योर प्रेमिसेस विच इज़ नॉट मेड अप ऑफ ब्रिक एंड स्टोन. दैट इज़ व्हाट वी कॉल फिक्सचर्स. जैसे आपकी इलेक्ट्रिकल वायरिंग्स हैं, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंस्टॉलेशंस हैं, पंखे हैं, ये सब चीज़ें जो हैं ये आपके फिक्सचर्स हैं. जो वुड वर्क हुआ होता है, कैबिनेट्स बनी हुई होती हैं, डिफरेंट अलमारियाँ होती हैं, दीज आर ऑल फिक्सचर्स. शेल्विंग होती है, फाइल्स वगैरह रखने के लिए शेल्व्स बनी होती हैं. दीज आर फिक्सचर्स. वी अंडरस्टैंड, मिशा? ओके, गुड. ओके, लेट्स मूव ऑन. हमारे पास टाइम कितना है? हाँ, वी हैव टाइम. गुड. Okay, let's move on to 1.7 and 1.8. I hope you all got calculators, because calculator is indispensable to accounting work. Any calculator will do, basic calculator. Okay, Amna, you go ahead. Okay. Okay, Amna की law class अभी शुरू होगी है. She just messaged me that she has to leave. 1.7 now. I will do 1.7. You will do 1.8. They are both identical. You will see this as a very common theme in accounting book, that exercises are made with questions in pairs. So the whole point is that one of the questions we will do in the class and the other one you will do a similar on your own at home or later on. So let me go through the question, okay, and then we are going to see how we solve it. B Wise is setting up a new business before actually selling anything. He bought a van for $4,500 and a market stall for $2,000, stock of goods $1,500. He did not pay in full for his stock of goods and still owes 1,000 pounds. Sorry, मैं dollars कह रहा हूँ क्योंकि usually we use dollar as currency, but the currency used over here is pounds. So 1,000 pounds in respect of them. He borrowed $5,000 from CFox, and after the events just described, and before trading begins, he has 400 pounds cash in hand and $1,100 cash at bank. We need to calculate the amount of his capital. So this is the actual requirement of the question. We need to calculate the capital, and we know from our previous information that assets equals capital plus liabilities, so capital must be assets minus liabilities, right? So in this particular question, we are required to calculate assets minus liabilities. Would you agree with me if I say that 1.7 and 1.1 are exactly the same question? 1.1 में भी आपको कैपिटल कैलकुलेट पार्ट ए जो 1.1 का पार्ट ए है आपके पास एसेट्स लायबिलिटीज के टोटल दिए हैं और आपने कैपिटल निकालना है एग्जैक्टली द सेम थिंग इज व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इन 1.7 वो और बात है कि यहाँ पर हमारे पास कुछ ज़्यादा डिटेल्स दी हुई हैं and we have to consider all of these details one by one. So I'll go through the question once again. This time I know what am I required to do here. So since we have to calculate capital, so we are looking for assets and liabilities. So I'm going to use a highlighter here. I'm going to highlight assets in green and liabilities in red. So let's see. BY is setting up a new business. Before actually selling anything, he bought a van. So van is an asset. So that's your van. A market stall for $2,000. Stock of goods is also $1,500 an asset. He did not pay for his stock in full, so he still owes $1,000 in respect of them. So he owes $1,000 in respect of them. That's a liability, right? And he also borrowed $5,000 from CFox. That's also a liability, right? And after these events have just been described, and before trading begins, he's got $400 cash, which is an asset, and $1,100 cash at bank, which is also an asset. Do you agree with the color coding here? All the greens are your assets, all the reds here are your liabilities. Yes? Good, good. Alicia, very good, very good, very good. Can you quickly find out the capital now? Using your calculator. Don't use mental math. I strongly discourage you to use mental math here. Always use calculator. Even if you want to add 2 plus 2 and you're 100% certain that the answer is 4, you still do it on a calculator because you don't know that what type of mistakes that I come around when I grade your papers. Accounting में अगर आप किसी accounting mistake की वजह से credit lose करें, I understand that is acceptable. But if you lose credit because of a non-accounting mistake, because of just carelessness कि आपने addition subtraction गलत की, whereas you were allowed to use the calculators and you did not use that, this is criminal. That is punishable, right? Always use always use calculator. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting different answers over here. Iman Amaruk's answer is 8,500. Iman Badra's answer is 3,500. Amal Mariam got 3,500. Asma got 2,400. Are we doing the same set of calculations? All the greens are going to be added and all the reds are going to be subtracted, right? We should have the same answer. Why do we have different answer? Take your time. Don't make a mistake on the calculator, please, right? 3,500 by far is the most popular one. Iman Farooq, yeah, thank you very much. 3,500, right? 3,500 is the correct answer. Iman Badr, 3,500. Do we all agree on 3,500? We all agree on 3,500. I don't have a calculator at hand right now, so I will be relying on your answer. So you be very, very careful here. You don't want to make a mistake here. All the greens are your assets, so you add them all, and the reds are your liabilities. You will subtract the 2 reds. You should get 3,500. Great. I trust you on that. Okay, can you quickly get me the answer to 1.8? I will not highlight it for you. You will do it yourself, right? make since you cannot annotate my screen, so what I would want to produce an answer over here would be that, let's say if this is 1.8, right? Oops, sorry. What I would do is, in order to present my answer more formally, I will have two columns. One is assets, right? And the other one would be liabilities, right? And I will have I will put all these assets here and liabilities over here. उन सब की dollar values उनके सामने लिखता जाऊंगा. And then I'm going to add the two. And this is $X, this is $Y, right? And then your capital would be $X minus $Y. That's how I'm going to produce my answer. If I were to submit an assignment, or if I have to do a question like this in the test, I'll make sure that my examiner will have the maximum possible comfort in checking my answer. So that's how I should produce it, right? Okay, so the answer time here. Asma Wasim ka question aaya. Sorry, Asma, I missed it. But he didn't pay 1,500 and he still owes 1,000. So won't we consider only 500 as the asset? No. 1,500 is, this is from the previous question. Sorry, Asma, I don't know why I missed that. 1,500 का उसने asset खरीदा. आपका एसेट की वर्थ क्या है? 1,500. वो और बात है कि आउट ऑफ दैट उसने सिर्फ $1,000 उसने सिर्फ 500 पे किया, 1,000 नहीं पे किया. तो बेसिकली इफ यू रिकग्नाइज $1,500 worth of stock of goods and recognize $1,000 worth of inventory, so automatically वो counter balance होके 500 रह जाएगा. So I agree that mathematically your answer would be $500 of an asset, but that would mean that you will ignore $1,500 of inventory and you will ignore $1,000 of creditors. But we would want to get maximum possible details. So if I were you, I will recognize 1,500 as stock of goods asset and $1,000 as a liability. वो और बात है कि eventually जो कि हमने इसको minus ही करना है ना यहाँ पे, we have to subtract in order to calculate capital, we have to subtract. So वो automatically net off हो जाएगा. Right, Asma Wasim? We get it better? Okay, thank you. Take care. Yes, Madhya, 6275. We have a very consistent answer. I'm very happy this time we did not rely on mental math and we used calculator carefully. So if you use calculator carefully, there is no reason you make a mistake over here. Good, Alina Sayed. So please, everyone, quickly, if you have any issue, then ask right now. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next one. 6275. Great. Everyone is getting the answers correct. 6275. So you see, accounting problems are like word problems of mathematics. You have to read a paragraph carefully, and then you have to decrypt that paragraph, extract the information which is relevant for you, and then you have to have good comprehension skills for that, obviously, so that you can see what is relevant and what is not relevant and how a certain item is going to be treated. So this is something, that's the only mathematics that you probably will come across, right? Additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions, percentage calculations at the most. और sometimes एक basic equation solve करनी होगी, quadratic भी नहीं होगी, वो normal first degree equation, x plus y equals z type equation. इससे ज़्यादा mathematics नहीं है accounting के अंदर. However, the critical thinking that is polished by mathematics, that is very important. और वो सिर्फ accounting के लिए नहीं, वो हर subject के लिए ज़रूरी होती है. So it's the critical thinking and the and out of the box creativity that helps you in accounting, and for that matter, this is helpful for every subject, not just accounting. Hardcore mathematical operations are never going to be used in accounting, except for the basic operations, addition, subtraction, etc. Now we still have 12 minutes to go. आपकी क्लास तो नहीं शुरू होने वाली ना? 11:30 पे हमारी क्लास खत्म होती है कि does it finish at 11:20 or 11:30? I have 11:18 on my watch. So if we have time, then we will move on. Okay, Mara, thank you. 11:30 it is. Now, 1.9 and 1.10 are the same questions. Again, I'll do 1.9, you will do 1.10. But 1.9, now you see the introduction to the first financial statement. I promised you that one of the three financial statements are what we are going to see in the very first chapter. The three financial statements are: number one, income statement, which calculates profits or losses; number two, cash flow statement, which judges the overall cash reserves strength, cash या cash equivalents की analysis को; and the third one, which is a more general statement, is what we call the balance sheet, which represents all the other. It finished at 20. Alina, are you sure about this? But do you have a class starting till 11:30? Because मेरा टाइम टेबल इसलिए 11:20 पे ख़त्म होता है क्योंकि वो जब पर्स वन टू जब हम फिजिकल क्लासेस लेते थे तो मुझे ट्रांजिट टाइम चाहिए होता था फ्रॉम आपके स्कूल से किसी और स्कूल पहुँच, तो इसलिए मैंने रिक्वेस्ट की थी कि मेरी क्लास 11:20 पे ख़त्म कर दें बिकॉज आई नीड 10 minutes ट्रेवल टाइम. So I think we can use those 10 minutes to solve this question here, right? Okay, great. You don't have any class until 11:30, so I'm going to wrap it up. So now we will make the balance sheet, and balance sheet is going to be based on the same principle as we're familiar with. Assets equals capital plus liabilities. That is the general strength and weaknesses over here. So your strengths are highlighted over here on the asset side, and your weaknesses, your obligations are on the right hand side. We call them capital and liability. So your balance sheet is nothing but a statement that shows नहीं, मेरा ख्याल में हम ये काम we should not rush on 1.9 and 1.10 because balance sheet is one of the financial statements and we have to discuss lots of formalities about presentation, about calculations. So 10 minutes में हम इसको rush करेंगे. I think we can do that in the next class. Okay, so I think we can wind up here today. If you have a question, you stay back. If you don't have a question, you can leave. I'll mark your present. I'll mark your attendance later on. Right. Okay. See you on next Monday. Great. Yep. Okay. Minal, you have a question, bete? Adan, आपको कुछ पूछना है?